Well, cool. Speaking of that, being able to showcase our games, share them with others. I think another thing we all really need to be aware of is that we need to make our displays really appealing before somebody's in the game, before somebody is able to play yourcoolgame.exe. They need to be enticed to pop that open or check out the page or come see you at a booth. So we are going to be hearing from our friend Ragon on how to table at an expo. So please give Ragon a round of applause, digitally of course.
Hi PIGSquad! Thanks for having me. My name is Ragon Dickard. I'm a freelance artist, illustrator, and big ol' nerd in Seattle, Washington. Here today to talk to you about how to sell at markets. Like I said, I'm an artist and illustrator, and I know a lot of you are game developers, so I'm coming at this from the direction of selling in artist alleys at Comic Cons and that kind of event. But more broadly, this can be about how to table at any event, because as designers, we all need to sell ourselves and to sell our product. So this should apply to all of the above. I also want to talk specifically to people like me who, when they first started with tabling, thought that tabling seemed absolutely impossible. I'm here to tell you it is intimidating, but you can frickin' do it. I hope in particular that this can help you out. So, why table? Tabling is an awesome opportunity that I think more artists and designers should take advantage of. To start, it's a way to expand your audience. By going to an event with tons of people walking around, you're going to get a lot of eyes on your product that otherwise might not see it, and you're going to increase the number of people who know about the thing that you're making. It's also great to build excitement for your audience about whatever product you're making because they get to see it in person. There's also this feeling that they've discovered you and your product that connects them more by seeing it in person. And I think it's good for you as a maker because you get to feel very legit and connected to the thing that you're making as well. You also have the benefit of getting direct feedback from your audience, in that as you're standing with your product out in front of you, these wonderful people are going to come up and see your product, and you get to see exactly how they react to the things that you're making. Whether it's laughter, whether it's getting really excited about it, or even if you see that the things that people are just not connecting with. This can be a great way to see how people who you don't know react to your product. Another great benefit is building connections in your community. By getting out and going to these events and bringing your product with you, you make a lot of friends within the community who you otherwise might not have connected with. I met, for example, Marlo and Will of PIGSquad at my very first event at Geek Girl Con here in Seattle. And finally, of course, you can make some money. So because I'm an illustrator, a big reason that I table is to bring products directly to put in front of people, and they buy it and I make money. That's my job. So how do we get an opportunity to table at an event? Especially if you're more of a niche type of maker. Luckily, there's tons and tons of opportunities for anything that you can think of in the making sphere. So it's just going to take some practice and some research to find the right opportunities for you. And the first one that I suggest is to ask around and do that research. Talk to people about what you want to do, and I promise as you talk to people you'll find more opportunities because people are excited to tell other makers about the opportunities that they've found. My very first market opportunity that I got was an art walk here in Seattle, and I got the opportunity just by talking to a cashier at a local frame shop about my interest in doing art walks, and he said, "Hey, that's crazy, we do art walks here, I'll invite you later." That's a great case of just talking to people about your interest in getting your product out there and looking for opportunities. As you're doing this opportunity research, keep a list. It seems simple, but I promise you, you will forget. So, you know, you'll hear something, just write it down. Just keep an ongoing list of a place that you can keep coming back to anytime you want to look for another place to apply. And by keeping a list like that and keeping a list of when you need to apply to these opportunities, it'll be one less barrier to you finding a place to table. And finally, scope out the scene. If you're nervous or if you're unsure if a place is a good fit for you, especially when tabling opportunities can cost a couple $100s, I recommend visiting the event first to see if it's a good fit for you. Just go scope it out, see what the situation is, maybe talk to some of the people who are tabling there, see what they think about it, and if you do that ahead of applying or tabling, there'll be less surprises. Some examples of these kinds of opportunities include comics and game conventions, showcases of indie art and games, indie meetups, artist alleys at comic and game conventions, local markets, art walks, festivals, pop-ups, craft fairs. Just keep an eye in your local area or in your region for different opportunities. And again, keep a list. So you found some opportunities for places to sell your product. Next, you need to get the money going. Boring, but very necessary. Depending on what you're doing, you may need to get licensed. In Seattle, you have to get a Seattle City business license, and I think you need a state business license in order to get that too. Just do some research. It's actually pretty easy. I think it costs around $100 or $200. And make sure if you're going to a different state, check in on their requirements for selling in that state. You may need to get a temporary business license. And of course, be prepared to pay for your spot if you've never done this before. Tabling is usually not free, especially at Comic-Cons and craft fairs and those kinds of events. Typically, an artist alley table costs $300, $200 on the low end. It can really vary. Some of the bigger comic conventions are maybe $500 or $600. And if you're not in the artist alley, if you're in the vendor section, that will cost even more, probably $700 to $1,000, depending on the size of your booth and your space. So just know that you're going to have to budget at the very least $200 to just buy your table. And of course, you'll need a point of sale, usually shortened to POS. I use Square. There's a picture of this here. It's a free platform. A lot of people use it. A free platform you download to your iPad or your your tablet or smartphone to take people's money via debit card or credit card. And when you sign up for Square, they'll send you a free reader that you plug into the headphone jack of your smartphone or tablet. And you'll also need to make a budget and a bookkeeping system. I like Square because it provides an automatic bookkeeping system where you can list the products that you have and how much they cost and how many you have, so you know what's going in and out and you can tell what's selling well and what's not selling well. And of course, you need to bring change and a cash box because not everybody will want to use credit cards or debit cards. I like to put stickers on my cash box because I feel like then I can tell if someone steals it, and it makes me happy. Do you. Now you have the location of your tabling set up, you have your money all ready to go, but now you need to know, what are you going to sell at this event? So, of course, your product, your game or your art, that's what you're doing, that's what you're selling. But think of it this way, more broadly, you're also selling yourself as a creator, your brand or your game's brand, and hype for your idea, hype for the idea of your game or art. Not just putting your art in front of people and being like, boom, you see it, you get it, it's good, right? No, we're doing some branding. We're doing some branding with the tabling to get people excited about the idea of your art and your product. More specifically, what are you gonna sell? I think it's a great idea to offer a range of price points for the variety of customers that are going to come and enjoy your product. So to start, of course, free, a sample of your game, right? Come and sit down and play my game. You should also offer a business card at the very least, maybe a sticker or a button, a flyer, or a small pamphlet with information about your product or yourself. You want something that's free that people can grab and take with them. And then on the low end, $2 to $5, great products are buttons, stickers, postcards. In the mid-range price, $5 to $20, you can offer prints, enamel pins, zines, art books. In the $20 to $40 range, offer clay, fancy prints, tote bags, shirts, posters. It's nice to offer something in that slightly higher price point because we're trying to make more than $2, right? Sometimes people want to spend more than $2. And of course, in the $100 plus price point, you can sell original art if you have it. I say this partially because I've seen far too many people selling their original art for $5, $10. It hurts me. Please don't sell your original art for $5 or $10. Thank you. From all artists, thank you. Please don't do that. It hurts me. Remember that people want to offer support, whether you're an artist or a game developer. People want the opportunity to give you money if they're excited about what you're doing. So give them that opportunity. Most people won't just be like, here's $20, I like you and what you do. But if you say, here's a shirt, they'll say, I like you and what you do, here's $20, I'll take the shirt. So now you have your opportunity, you have your money all set up, you've got your merch and your products all ready to go. Now it's time to prepare for the tabling event. Make sure you have packed with you tape, scissors, string, paper, markers, and pencils. It's just to fix anything that breaks, or if you real quick need to put a little sign up that you forgot about, just bring it with you. Of course, bring water. Stay hydrated, we all know that, right? Bring snacks, lunch, and a lunch plan, because at these events they go from early in the morning to the evening, and the food there at the convention centers are so expensive. I'd say bring lunch, or have a plan for where you're gonna go to grab lunch, and bring snacks so you don't get hangry throughout the day. Bring backup chargers and portable batteries for your iPhone or your tablet. For your smartphone or your tablet, for whatever you're using for your point of sale. Hi, it's me, your mom. Bring lip balm because you're going to be talking a lot and it's dry in there. Water and lip balm. I don't want you to dry out like a little sponge. Finally, hi, it's me, your dad. Hand sanitizer and a mask. Now we know the whole world is just a soup of germs. I personally am never going to go to a convention without wearing a mask, but stay healthy, keep others healthy, and the world will thank you. More preparation. Practice your display ahead of time. Highly recommend. Find somewhere that you can do the full display and do the full display ahead of time and take pictures of it so you know exactly how it's going to work, exactly how everything's set up. Once you get there, again, everything's hectic. There's lots of stuff going on. It's early in the morning. You're facing down a weekend. You want to know what your setup is going to look like. So practice it ahead of time and take pictures so you have the exact layout of your display. And of course, organize your stock of merch and products and everything. Have it nicely organized because, like I said, it's hectic once you get there, and it's hectic throughout the event, and you don't want to be digging through your stack of whatever looking for this thing that a customer wants to buy when there's a line of a bunch of other customers looking to buy something. Just be organized. You'll thank yourself later. And I'd say pack up early, the night before or even earlier for the event, to make setup day as least stressful as possible. And finally, for preparation, I highly suggest bringing a buddy with you to help carry all your display stuff and to help set everything up, because it can be a lot to carry, a lot to set up early in the morning by yourself. So bring a buddy with you. Now the fun part that everybody likes to think about when it comes to tabling is the display. How are you going to get everybody excited about your products and your game? So of course, start by doing research. Always be researching displays and be in the habit of collecting images of display inspiration. Take notes when you see something that you like on social media or in person, and really start to pay attention at events. If you see a display that you really like, start to think about how they put it together and take notes when you see displays that you think are really awesome. Make sure you're including your display in your budget, because it's a really essential part of getting people hooked on a busy floor into coming and trying your product or looking at your product, and to remember it later. Don't leave it out of the budget. This is probably a pretty big budget display, but I loved that it had this big memorable character in this like blow up shape, and it had something that you could hold and take a picture with, and that's great. Super fun, very memorable. So after you've made your budget for your display, if you know that you don't have a very big budget, know that there's lots of ways around it. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars and do the do-it-yourself thing and still have an awesome display. I love to go to thrift and craft stores to find things to help my display. All of my tablecloths are from Goodwill, and I'm always on the lookout for new items to help decorate my display. I draw a lot of fruits and vegetables. So I was so excited when I found at Target some fruits and vegetables that were really cute and were sewn and definitely fit with the rest of my brand. I also got from Target in the party section some little cute pom-poms on strings that fit with my brand and make it seem more festive and eye-catching. So don't think you're above looking at the craft section for ways to decorate your table at events, because you can find some awesome stuff. Get creative. You're creative, folks. Get creative with your displays. Another great way to, on a small budget, make your display awesome is use your merch or your products as part of the display. This was the Frog Detective booth at PAX 2019, and I loved this little element of their display so much that I took a picture of it. You can see they spread their business cards across the table, and they took the hand sanitizer and did this cute little drawing that totally fit in with their brand. I thought it was hilarious. This is such a practical element that made their display very memorable to me. So if you're an artist, of course your merch is going to be a key factor in making a memorable display. So find ways to integrate the merch as decoration. A couple more suggestions for your display on a practical level is to get high. So you can see in this display of mine from Rose City Comic Con in 2019, I have a little sign that I put at the very top of my display, and I have the element of the displays that raises my prints up. So not only do I have more surface area to sell my prints and show them clearly, but people can see them from a distance. You can also see behind me the wonderful Monkey Minion Press did an even better job of that by creating a structure that was a good 2 feet taller than my display and had their sign really high, so they're quick to see from a distance and memorable and very professional looking. Another great way of doing it is getting one of those signs from Vistaprint or the like that are really tall, the vinyl signs, and that's very sturdy and you can keep it with you for a long time. So have something that has some height so people can see you from a distance. Now that you've gotten high, you also want to get low. Have details on the table that they can appreciate or interact with. Have smaller details that they can see. Just play with your heights so that you're taking advantage of the space that you have and it's visually interesting. And finally, get interactive with your display. Try to include at least one interactive element, even if it's just your business card. So business cards are interactive because people can come up, take it, look at it, and put it in their pocket. That doesn't seem interactive, but it is. People like to have something that they can touch. Remember those fruits and vegetables that I mentioned? They weren't meant to do this, but kids love to come up and pick up the little fruits and vegetables and look at them. And that draws in families when the kids come and say, "Ooh, I want to touch this." So again, get creative. Think of ways you can have at least one thing that's interactive that people can touch and look at and draw them in that way. So for the final facet of the display, remember that you are part of the display too. Whatever this means to you, try to look nice for these tabling events and be an extension of your brand. Obviously, be clean. Make sure your clothes are clean, but I'd like to take it a little step further and try to be like an elevated version of yourself. Again, whatever that means for you. You don't have to wear a suit or like a fancy dress unless you want to. So for me, that just means being a little more of a colorful, slightly more funky version of myself than I might wear at home. I like colorful clothes, but I really try to pump it up a little bit for tabling events because my art is so colorful and I like to kind of match to be a part of the whole brand. Also, now is an important time to be welcoming and engaging at the tabling events. Talking to a creator can be really intimidating. So try to smile, try to talk to people, try to ask questions, answer people's questions, say hi, just be your best showmanship self and just try to be friendly and engaging, and that will go a long way in encouraging people to connect with your market and to make them more comfortable. To help do this, I encourage you to bring a buddy. If maybe you're not the most sociable person, this might be a good time to bring one of your friends who is sociable. Bring a friend who is friendly and engaging and encouraging, and they can do it a little bit for you and you can be there to answer questions. It's also good to bring a buddy so that you can work in shifts. Maybe this is my introvert, my ambivert showing, but so you don't go crazy trying to be on for 3 days straight or for 8 hours straight. Nice to have someone that can be the face for a little bit while you eat a snack or just take a little break. And it's also great if things are really busy. If you think that your table or your booth is going to be really popular, try to staff appropriately. Have enough people there to interact and answer questions so that you're not stressed and having long lines, turning people away because you're too busy. Just make sure your display, your table, your booth is adequately staffed so you're not tired and so you can engage correctly and well with your audience. In conclusion, find your opportunities, reduce your stress by preparing early, provide a range of opportunities for support and purchasing with a variety of price points, make your display memorable, connect with your audience, and also do it a lot. Know that you're going to learn with each time that you table. Just go forth and table. Do it. Give it a try. Learn a lot and get people excited about you, your product, and your brand. You got this. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned a lot about tabling and are getting excited about going back to conventions and markets. I know I am. This talk was based on an article that I wrote for my patrons as a part of my Arty Business series, where I talk about different facets of running an artistic creative business. So if you'd like to check out this article, my Patreon is patreon.com/Ragonia. Thank you so much, PIGSquad, for having me. Can't wait to hear the rest of your talks, and I hope you all have a safe, healthy, creative, arty day. Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you, Reagan. That was very fun. Again, time to see those pictures of the before times. But also, yeah, really rewarding to see like how your booths have grown over time. And it's not, the chat is really, really active right now about yeah, taking care of yourself with like hand sanitizer, respecting other people, how to entice other people over. Do you have any questions for Reagan? She's in the chat right now. And again, she had mentioned her Patreon. Reagan, if you want to link your Patreon in the chat, you're totally welcome to. And because she does a lot of like workshops and things like that. She actually gave I think, Reagan, you were part of our first Twitch only talent talks last year as well, talking about finding your art style, which is another really, really good talk for anybody who wants to see that. Actually, that's one tab I don't have open on here is our YouTube, where we have a ton of different talent talks from our prior presenters here, and we'll be following up with all of our presenters from tonight to see if we're cool to upload everybody's talks. But yeah, wealth of information, quite. Here's Reagan's talk from last time. And yeah, if anybody has any questions for Reagan otherwise, please just let her know. She's also very accessible on Instagram, and we all know each other and are part of the PIGSquad community. You know, it's part of what the community's for. So let her know, and let us know if you need to get in touch with each other, especially as we're having so much chat in the Twitch chat. This is really active. It's really fun. I think it's really rewarding to have everybody going nuts over what everybody's presenting on, because of course, like I said, a lot of this is very personal for people too. I mean, even just Reagan talking about how she just got to her first tabling and how much of a coincidence that seemed to be, and Ben talking about his first ever instance of being able to work as a writer and how to practice and all those kinds of things. I think it's really helpful to, as we're watching these presentations, of course, thinking about how these concepts apply to anything you might want to do, but also how they apply to kind of like your personal learning journey and your personal journey in figuring out what you want to do. So anyways, thank you so much, Reagan. That was awesome.